Thorpe Park, where thrill seekers enthusiasts alike go to ride roller coasters and obsess over RMCs. Now obviously, recently Thorpe Park Resort has been remaining closed due to the whole COVID-19 malarkey. However, Saturday the 4th of July, which was yesterday at the time I'm currently recording this video, they did reopen. I've told a number of people that obviously I have had tickets for this event. I've been bigging it up for months, and I did say that I probably wouldn't be doing a vlog due to obviously me being with family and it being a little bit awkward. However, I've come up with a very unique and cool solution. Instead of me filming myself and actually being at the park telling the story, I thought I'd be commentating over it, kind of making it a little bit more over dramatic, adding some jokes in there and kind of making it more of like a tale or a story. Now this could go many different ways. I could continue to doing this sort of stuff on the channel. Easily I could do this and vlogs, like I could do this type of video on special events, obviously like the opening of a theme park. But yeah, that's up to you guys. If you guys like this format of video, I will 100% keep doing it. But I thought it'd be very fun and cool, especially as I probably wouldn't have been able to film a vlog. So yeah, with all that said, let's get right into the tale, which starts with me standing in my garden. Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video it finally has come, the day that we get back to Thorpe Park Resort and all of the other theme parks over in the UK. Currently I'm standing outside in my garden because obviously inside people are sleeping, so I can't exactly film this in there. But yeah, the day has finally come. I'm very excited. I managed to get tickets for today. We're going to be getting back on loads of our favourite rides. Obviously most of them are going to be open. I do feel like Legoland is most likely going to be the one that gets hit the most with ride closures. Obviously evidently the Walking Dead and Dead Round's Ghost Train aren't opening, which we kind of do anyway. I've kind of discussed it a little bit in some various lives and things like that. But it's now been confirmed, which is kind of sad, but at the end of the day, like, it's for safety reasons and there's still plenty of stuff to go on. So yeah, it's going to be a great day when we're heading down. I'm very excited. This is a big moment for me. I haven't been on a coaster since October because I know a lot of people went to Blackpool in February, but I didn't get to go there, so this is very exciting. But I'm going to stop waffling now and we'll get to the resort. Let's go. And with that, I headed into my noble steed, and by noble steed I mean a Hyundai, let's be real, and we made our trek all the way up to Thorpe Park, which was only about 40 minutes, there was no traffic, so it was nice and easy. We then swiftly made it to the resort and gazed upon the brand new entrance for 2020, something that would make either an enthusiast and a GP alike very happy. We then moved straight through the entrance, waited a little bit for the baggage check, and then they led us into a small queue line waiting to be let into the park. After we checked our tickets successfully and made our way into the resort, obviously we crossed the brand new refurbished for 2020 bridge, which, a little bit of a side note, I really love. I think it's really cool the way in this season they kind of pushed for kind of that refurbishment kind of area of construction rather than focusing on one main thing. Obviously we're supposed to get Black Mirror this year, how obviously that's been delayed to next year. However, obviously nonetheless we made our way into the dome and prepared for our day. We then passed the brand new Infinity Bar and Kitchen. Obviously that is the new refurbishment of Finn's Bar and Grill from the last couple of seasons, and yeah, first impressions on this, I thought it was absolutely amazing. It's very much different to what I thought it would look like. Obviously we got glimpses from various behind the scenes things, but seeing it all lit up with the lights and stuff, it really does look good, and the photos don't really do it justice. It is a very incredible restaurant to see in person, but nonetheless I'm going to stop geeking out over restaurants and talk about what happened next. As we exited the dome's gates, we were then kind of plastered with what we were actually going to go on, because, you know, we've been planning for this for months and quite frankly didn't know where to go. But we decided to uphold the tradition of going to the Swarm first, so that was where we headed for our first thrill seek of the day. Obviously we passed the old containment facade, which is really sad to see, obviously, because, you know, Fright Nights last year was probably one of my best experiences at a theme park to date, and obviously it's probably not going to be the same this year. However, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Managed to snag the back row on the Swarm, and obviously this is my personal favourite place to sit on the ride. I just feel like you get loads of drag, very forceful, and yeah, obviously this, like I mentioned, is the first time I went on a roller coaster since October last year, and I pretty much came off it with my hands shaking. Obviously we made sure to use the hand sanitizer that was located at the exit of the ride, keeping us and everyone else safe. We then moved straight out of Prawn Plaza, ready for our next ride as we plotted where to go next. So we then decided to hop over onto Saw the Ride, and understandably that is a little bit of a trek. Obviously we had to pass the brain damaged machine known as Colossus. We eventually made it, but there was one slight problem. When we arrived, we found out that the ride was currently closed. As we stood outside the Saw entrance waiting for it to reopen, I spotted none other than Jack Silkstone running across with a group of friends past me. Obviously, being the shy person that I am, didn't decide to go up to them. However, obviously it was very, very cool seeing him. We then began to grow bored as we were kind of waiting there for about 15 to 20 minutes, so we decided to leave the queue and just go find another ride somewhere else. We then decided to go take a little bit of a pit stop within the toilets, which was coincidentally next to the brand new for 2021 Black Mirror Labyrinth. So with that, I filmed a little bit of a construction update, so take it away, me at Thorpe Park. Over where Black Mirror is supposed to be opening next year, obviously quite a lot of the Living Nightmare stuff is still open, or still up, should I say. But there does seem to be this massive beam here. I'm assuming this is where the sign is going to be, but that looks pretty massive. It looks like they've really thought this out. There's not really a lot you can see down there, I don't think. I know quite a lot of people wanted me to do a construction update, but there's just not really much to see. But yeah, we've also got this little thing here. I can't actually remember that was where Living Nightmare was. I can't remember that was actually there, but that does look a little bit different. So at this point, it's probably not going to change, but you know, we're just going to have to wait till 2021. So, after our drooling session over Black Mirror was over, we then decided to take another trek across the park to one of my favourite attractions in the UK, Stealth. Now, bear in mind that I haven't been on Stealth since October last year. I was kind of nervous, and obviously every time I go on Stealth, I've always got that nervous kind of state of mind, kind of pushed to the side a little bit. Obviously, it's one of those rides where even the more you go on it, you're still kind of nervous before it takes off. So yeah, it was safe to say I was very, very excited to hop back onto Stealth, and once again, it came off with my hands shaking. It was very, very cool, and I really enjoyed my ride on it, and it still is up there in one of the best roller coasters I've been on in the UK. So, after we'd left our guts in the Stealth station, we then headed over to one of the more controversial rides over at Thorpe Park Resort, which is obviously Nemesis Inferno. Now, obviously, I've stated this so many times, I do like both Nemesis and Nemesis Inferno very, very equally. However, it was really, really great to get back on this, obviously. It was really nice to go back up into the queue line. Obviously, social distancing was still kept throughout. And yeah, we managed to snag the front row on Nemesis, which was very, very cool, which very got me excited as well. Front row on Nemesis is probably my favourite, and I'm sure it's other people's favourites as well, those of you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, obviously this was really sick to get back on. Obviously, I do really, really want to try to get on Nemesis' front row over at Alton Towers, because I do thoroughly enjoy this Nemesis' front row as well. As we were exiting Nemesis Inferno, obviously we still saw Blair Witch all pretty much intact from what it was last year. Obviously it's really sad to see it still there, knowing that it most likely isn't going to be running this year. There was various signs that were still up, obviously as you've seen in the footage now. But yeah, the shed, the tents and everything is still up within the actual maze itself. So it did actually look like this was probably going to be returning this year. But it does look like Fright Lights probably won't be the same, probably won't be actor led this season. So yeah, it's kind of unlikely we're going to see Blair Witch, but obviously we then pass through a little kind of side exit past the shop. Obviously they're not really having the shops really open for the different various rides, so obviously the ones where there are actually separate pathways you can go through, obviously you are then led through them specific pathways. So after we'd taken a trip to the jungle, those of you who watch Life of Deals will probably get that reference, we then headed over to check out the brand new additions to the Mega Store. Obviously there was a brand new entrance this season as well as a new layout due to COVID-19, and I think it's really well done. As you can see from the footage here, it's kind of like a one-way path that you just move through. There's still loads of different stuff's very, very accessible, which is very, very cool as well. Obviously, funnily enough, I did actually bump into Life of Deals while I was in the store. I didn't say hello, but I did see him there, which was very, very cool. Yeah, so yeah, it was really, really cool to see. Obviously, only one of the entrances to the Mega Store is open, and that is the one by the toilets. But yeah, it was nice to see all the new merchandise in person rather than online. And yeah, after that, we kind of started to get a little bit peckish and decided to head to KFC. As we walked past the glorious Colonel Sanders himself, we noticed that we had to line up outside. This is something that's actually used throughout the resort. Obviously, they're only limiting people to go into the restaurant. It didn't take too long. We just stood outside for, I'd say, about a couple of minutes, and then we were let into the restaurant. We then collected our food and headed to our seats. Obviously, there are two sanitation stations within the KFC itself. There's one at the entrance, so that when you enter into the building you can wash your hands, and then one just before you're about to take your seats, obviously to allow you to sanitize your hands before you start eating. Obviously we had a lovely meal. Obviously I had my bonus banquet courtesy of Colonel Sanders himself, and then we set out again to find our next ride. After we left the KFC Palace with a full stomach, we then passed the unfortunately closed Darren Brown's Ghost Train and Walking Dead the ride. Obviously it's a shame to see these attractions closed, but at the end of the day, it's for safety reasons, you know. Hopefully they will be open by the end of the season. As we continued through Old Town, we then decided to go and head back to Saw, which luckily was open and ready for us to go and enjoy. As we ascended into Jigsaw's fortress, dodging and weaving through all of the traps, we then saw firsthand some of the new cleaning regimes within Saw the ride. Obviously, every time the new carriages come through into the station, once the guests have hopped off of them, the staff then go and spray down all the restraints and clean it off. Obviously, it's one of the only attractions that this actually does. Most of the other roller coasters are cleaned every hour for a deep cleaning process, but obviously because of the nature of how Saw is loaded, it makes it a lot easier for staff to actually clean this firsthand, which is really cool to see in person. After we had faced our fears, we then decided to go to Colossus. Obviously, you've seen that Saw and Colossus were very close together. As we trekked up into the Lost City, I began to become a little bit nervous. Now, obviously, Colossus is a very rough ride, and after just filling my stomach with a huge KFC bonus banquet meal, it was understandable that I was feeling a little bit on the edge. However, once standing in the Colossus queue line, we began to notice the different Black Mirror construction updates through a different angle. Obviously, as you can clearly see from this picture, the tunnel that obviously you were held in for Living Nightmare is 100% gone now. I know that's going to please a lot of people, but all the Black Mirror stuff aside, we then ascended into the Colossus station, ready to board one of the most rough coasters I've ever been on, and yeah, we managed to snag the back row, which isn't the best seat for roughness, but at the end of the day it was still enjoyable enough, and we managed to go through it without having any brain damage. So, after experiencing the power of 10, we then decided to do a couple of flat rides, including Samurai, which was on a very vicious cycle. The day we went, we got ground 2 times, which was very teasing, as it kind of slowed down a bit. We were like, whoa, it's over, and it just launched us back through again. Not a great experience. And after that, we then headed down into the Lost City again, and just kind of chilled next to the lake. We saw some speedboats go by. Obviously, we're sitting near the bridge. It's a really nice kind of peaceful setting to just kind of calm ourselves down for a bit after a load of adrenaline coursing through our veins. So, pretty much from this point onwards, all we really did was just go on re-rides. We did like stealth multiple times and things like that. So, instead of me just waffling again, I'm just going to show you a really cool montage of all the new footage that I got post the point that I've just explained. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Like I said, if you'd like this type of stuff, I will do it a lot more. Obviously, I am planning to do vlogs when I do go again at Thorpe Park, hopefully very soon. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And yeah, so from now on, I'll let you enjoy the video.